You're watching San Antonio Living.
What? If they're out of your care, they're in someone else's who's just as capable as you of keeping them safe, and I don't feel like that.
I've ridden 54.
From the movie, the bullying movie that really got parents in America talking about this serious problem. It's affecting so many kids. But we've learned it's not just a problem for children. There are adult bullies as well. In fact, here's a statistic for you. 1 out of 6 adults say they are victimized by bullies in their lives. So we wanted to explore that issue and also give any parent some resources and some information if he or she suspects that their child is being bullied. And we have an author and activist here to talk about that, Gabriella van Rij, and she is the author of the book With All My Might and I Can Find My Might, if you don't mind me hold those up, the children's version. And also she's flying out to Nashville this afternoon to be involved with a documentary on the subject, Hear Me Now. So you're committed to bullying and stopping it.
Totally. It's an epidemic that needs to be stopped fast.
I'm really surprised that so many adults feel victimized. They're difficult people that we come across. How is it different between a bully and just someone that, you know, we just don't really like at the office?
I think it's almost the same. But again, if bullying was eradicated at the source, meaning when they were children, it wouldn't go into the workforce. I believe a bully kind of stays a bully. And I also believe, and this is quite interesting, is that victims turn into bullies in the workforce.
Why is that?
I think that if you've been treated this badly and have been treated with so much meanness, it's really difficult to deal with. So you kind of shove it under the carpet. And then when you're in a position of power, I would almost say, then something comes out in you that you're going to treat others really nasty.
If you're an adult, maybe you're watching right now and you're like, you know what, maybe that's me. Maybe I am a bit of a bully. What should you do?
Well, I think it's, first of all, not to abuse your power in any way. But the thing is, the victims need to be able to talk to human resources without knowing that you're going to be slapped on the wrists immediately. And I think that is in North America something that we really need to deal with. That you need to be able to go to human resources and you need to feel safe there. And if you can't feel safe there, we're never going to report it.
Right, especially if the bully's in control, then you will be too intimidated to go to human resources. Let's talk a little bit more about a victim. What else can you do? How can you get help, or how can you deal with someone who
For the adult or for the child?
For an adult.
For an adult, I would say, honestly, talk to someone. Yesterday I was on another newscast and the advice was to actually record everything, every email that you get. And if you can't sleep, if there are medical problems, then go to a doctor. And once you have all this, then you go to human resources, because then you have a sort of proof of a history of what's going on, not just your word.
What about if it's not a coworker or a supervisor at work, but it's just someone in your neighborhood or in your life, or it's your friend's parent? How do you deal with someone who is a bully?
I think if it's in your life, in your private life, it becomes really difficult. For me, I had it with my in-laws. So I speak of experience when I say when it's within the 4 walls of your family, it's really tough. But I think you have to change your attitude. The victim does. Because we don't want to say it. But we have to. You have to stand up for yourself.
Do you confront them?
Me, in the end, I got a divorce. It was the only way to get rid of the in-laws. But that sounds funny today, but it isn't, of course.
Oh, I'm sure you had to deal with a lot of pain and stress.
Yeah, but it's the same with a partner. You have so many forms of abuse and bullying. Don't forget, we just say bullying, but it's so many forms of extreme meanness that I don't even know where to start for adults.
But we've kind of touched on adults. What about kids? A lot of parents watching this show. How do you know if your child is being bullied? Because sometimes kids don't want to share that with their parents.
I think you know. I think you honestly know. As a parent, I'm a parent myself. Your child isolates itself. The warning signs are that the child has less and less friends. It won't want to go to sports. It won't want to do so many things. You see that. I know every parent has 2 jobs and it's hard to do everything. But I think that if you really watch these little warning signs, it actually shows. And you have to talk. You have to draw that child out.
And what if the child, especially if the child is older, a teenager, maybe not want to talk with a parent? What do? Do you go to maybe an aunt or to a counselor or a teacher or someone who might be able to secretly kind of talk?
Yeah, I would always find out if there's someone in the vicinity that the child likes. There's always someone that the child connects with. The biggest danger I find is when there's no connection anymore. If the child disconnects that much, like the child in the bully movie, Alex, the one that gets really treated badly in the school bus, that child, that one needs help instantly from every angle, family and the school, because it actually needs to be watched 24 hours.
And if it's something that's in your gut and you suspect it, act on it. We're going to put up some information on how to get your book and then also your website as well. You had a final comment?
Yeah. Did you see the deniability, though, in this bully movie? Neither the parents believe that children can be this cruel, and neither do the educators.
Thank you so much for coming here today. We need to constantly keep a spotlight on this issue. WithAllMyMight.com is a website. Again, we've been speaking with author and activist Gabriella van Rij. Her book is called With All My Might, and I Can Find My Might. That's the kids' version.